Today is September 28th, 2022. It is the day of Mercury and the hour of Jupiter. And this is actually divinely aligned, not my intention per se, but my time lord for this year is Jupiter. So this is very fitting to have this discussion right now. And my purpose and intention for this video is to basically share and document where I am in my spiritual journey at this time. And I am very fortunate that my spiritual journey is my life and vice versa. And so I have been sharing for a couple weeks now, basically more about my journey, what's been coming up for me, specifically ever since we've started getting these eclipses between Scorpio and Taurus. So I'm really feeling all of you and just sympathizing with you if you are experiencing a lot of deep change and transformation. I mean, all of us are, but I definitely want to give a special I see you to those of you who have fixed rising signs. So fixed being Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, or if you have dominance in those signs, meaning you have like 2 or more planets in those signs or 3 or more, you're really going through the deep, dark shifts right now, or at least most of the people I talk about. So for me personally, I have a Scorpio rising. I also have Saturn, my South Node, and Pluto, of course, in Scorpio. And so naturally, my biggest, greatest shift and unearthing right now is between myself, who it is that I am, and how I identify who I am, especially as a mother now, and what that means to me. And then in addition to that, of course, on the opposite end of the spectrum or the axis is relationships, which is in my chart ruled by Taurus. And so that has been something that I've really been processing in just all of my intimate relationships, who I call close friends, how I define a partner to be, and even like sacred union. Everything's up for review for deep transformation and upheaval. And so I've been sharing over my cosmic climates that my partner and I have broken up. And this was right after the full moon Aquarius. Some crazy stuff went down in both of our lives and then in our lives together as that family. And I took some space and went to my mother's for a couple weeks. Then I came back and we, connected, we made agreements. A lot have shifts have happened with us internally. And also a lot of shifts happen within our relationship where we're in a really good space. Like I would say the biggest setback or thing that was really separating us was our communications, how we talk to each other. And it just wasn't him towards me, it was both of us. And that has changed because our promises and our actions have changed. However, I still feel this really deep call to separate again. So when I had came back, I was coming back under the impression that I'm packing my stuff up and I'm going to my mother's, right? And he was under the impression too. However, things change. And then also my plans on leaving in 2 weeks got changed to leaving in a month just because of the nature of moving my things. So in that time, we were able to connect, work, process, and heal some things. And again, I just feel this true call and inner guidance, divine guidance to still go to my mother's for 6 or 7 months. I am open. That's not a like set in stone thing. So I am in flow. So I'm open to staying longer if I need to, or leaving sooner if I need to. I'm going with the flow, but there's something here, something there's something that's going to shift with the space around us. And it's really giving us both the space to find our own self-reliance, right? He's just coming out of his Saturn return. Or pretty much, I mean, Saturn's still in Aquarius. Like he had that very intense exact point. But when I feel when individuals are going through their Saturn return, you don't really start to have a sense of relief until Saturn's moved out of the sign. So his Saturn's in Aquarius. And so Saturn's not out of Aquarius until March of 2023, which, interestingly enough, that's when I was planning on coming back home or seeing where we are at that time, because I have my desires to move back to Colorado, even though that is open for modification. I'm just going with the flow, but I do have like my dreams, my intentions, my desires, and we'll see if that is in alignment with what's for the highest and best, which is what I choose to follow at this point in my life. And so we will evaluate, we'll see what happens, what transpires. And I am focusing on my work. I am focusing on my child, of course. And again, just living my life, right, and my spiritual truth. So what is really interesting with this, and I wanted to record this before my mother got here, because she'll be here today, and then we're going to drive back. Well, I am returning to the home or the space that I was in roughly almost 20 years ago when I started my journey. I started playing with tarot cards and using crystals, and I had doing my little rituals and stuff. And my mom is not very, she identifies as Christian, but she's not like going to church every weekend and stuff like that. We used to. But she, back in the day, she saw my tarot cards and my crystals and freaked out. Like, I came home from wherever I was and she was putting, oil. She said she was blessing her home, cleansing her home. Yeah. I'm like, wow, this is what you should, even though I didn't think about it back then. But now, thinking about it, I'm like, this is what I do. And she just freaked out and basically was like, I don't want those in my house, and you're going to have to leave if you don't. And I was only planning to be there for a couple months. I was kind of in between apartments and trying to figure out what I was doing. And so, yeah, there's just my mom. There's some weird stuff there. My mom's a little superstitious with things, and there's a lot. However, here we are almost 20 years later. I'm going back there. And when I was staying with her a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, for those couple of weeks, we had an agreement that she wants to allow me the space to create with routine, having her support there because she works from home and so forth. And so I'll have essentially like a live-in babysitter, which is going to be awesome. And so yeah, she was like, I don't care how you do it. Like, I just want you to be able to do it and create that foundation for yourself, right? Because she's finally accepted that I'm not going to get a 9-to-5 job like as XYZ, right? I'm going to follow my passion, like, no matter what. So she's giving me the time and space to do that. But it's so funny because I am having and this is why I'm learning the lesson of surrendering and letting go of material things, because I'm going to be taking some plants, but as you can see, I'm not taking all of my beautiful plants. My cat is also going to stay here, which that's my familiar. That is that's my fur baby. And that's going to be really hard for me. And just even my altar, my meditation room / office, like, I'm leaving all of that. And it's going to be different because I am going to have to essentially, like, it's not like I'm keeping it under wraps, but I can't, like, it's going to be hard to have all of my things out like I want to, because my mom just has, like, she sees something like some crystals and she's like, witchcraft, which, but so what I'm sharing here, because I don't want this to be very long, but I am stepping into it, the way I am basically restructuring my anxiety and my attachment to all of my things, and even my identity of, I'm going to my mom's house literally in October. This is like the witches season. And I, in a way, don't feel like I can really embody that in my full, like, I like to wear all dark. I like to have the black. I can do all of that, but it's like lighting my altar. Even when it comes to burning, plants, she does have incense, I've seen, but I think I'm going to mostly utilize an oil diffuser, which is nice. I just have to switch everything up. And if you're a fixed sign rule person, I'm sure that it's hard to really get out of your rituals, your routines, to just make changes. 1 second. So where I am in this journey is essentially I am I've been really feeling this energy of the priestess and more so just being I've been really wanting to be in like a temple space. Like I've been waking up not every morning but often, where I'm just like I listen to the ancient Egyptian meditation music and I just visualize myself like in this beautiful temple with just a natural light shining through. And I started doing this when I was at my mom's house before, because the rooms that she has is almost like they're like really tall ceilings. They have like this openness about them that gives me just this temple vibe. And I feel like I can be in that vibe at her house. And so I'm going to kind of play with that role and just that energy, which is very timely aligned with the next phase of my life that I'm moving into, as far as my annual perfection, in which I will move into what we call it's a third house annual perfection, which the third house has a lot to do with the connection to the goddess. It is the house of the moon, the house of the goddess, the rituals, the daily rituals that or maybe not necessarily daily, but the rituals in which you commune with the goddess. What does that look like? And my own moon is in that chart. It's ruled by Capricorn. So my time lord at that point will be Saturn. Right. And so I have this whole plan of going through all of my spiritual journals and consolidating them, kind of what's the word, transcribing them to my computer to consolidate and maybe, write a book. Who fucking knows? And also that third house deals with writing. And so I'm just really excited, and I'm excited to make some really big changes in my life as far as how I connect to my spiritual practice and how I share that with you all. So hopefully I will be beginning my Patreon again, and just really being able to connect and create on a routine ritual basis. And I've already begun to change my offerings. And right now, the only offering as far as like an astrology reading is what I am calling now a natal astrological or astrology consultation. And I'm only doing them live via Zoom. So no more pre-recorded astrology readings, unless, if there's a specific reason. I'm definitely flexible, but I would prefer to sit and connect with you live via Zoom. So I'm really excited for that. And I'll be talking more about how everything is changing and what my offerings will be. So I just wanted to share that and document that, leave that here, and we'll see how it all unfolds. So thank you so much for listening, and please like, subscribe, share if you enjoy my content. I really appreciate it. Definitely feel free to leave comments, whether they're just sharing your perspective, your experience, or asking questions. I just love engaging and seeing, your energy show up in my space as well. So thank you again, and I will talk to you all very soon.